No matter how the 2023-24 La Liga season ends, what Girona has achieved is absolutely remarkable. A club whose first appearance in the top flight only happened in 2017 has now put a serious challenge to the Spanish Giants after only 4 presences in the country's most important competition. But how did this rise happen so rapidly? In this video, I'll detail the behind-the-scenes secret connections that contributed to the club's success and discuss how Girona could change the dynamics of football forever. But before we start, if this isn't the first time watching this channel, please consider subscribing. With your help, we've already achieved 2,000 subscribers and now it's time to aim at 10,000. For context, let me expand a bit on Girona's background. As some of you might be aware, Girona is based on Catalonia, a region synonymous with Barcelona. As a consequence, Girona had spent 87 years of their history without ever participating in a top-flight match, which was kind of expected considering the lack of fans and financial support. But the club's fortunes changed in 2015 when they became affiliated with Pere Guardiola, none other than Pep Guardiola's brother. You see, they might share the same last name, but their career trajectories couldn't be more different. While Pep went on to become a football star and then one of the greatest football managers of all time, Pere followed a much different path. After finishing his career at the young age of 21, the younger Guardiola became a brand manager for Nike and eventually transitioned into a director of a mega football agency, representing several important figures in the world of football, including Suarez, Oyland, Ten Hag, and of course, his own brother too. As time went on, his influence grew bigger and bigger until he became one of the most powerful men in the world of football. As a byproduct of his power, Pere became partners with the City Football Group and intermediated many deals between City and Girona. For example, Man City bought Florian Lejeune from Girona and loaned them back to them. They also bought Ruben Sobrino from another Segunda División club and did the same. Nuacali and Pablo Maffeo, both City Academy products, were also sent to Girona on loan, while Angelino, Pablo Mari, Douglas Luiz and others were also sent to Girona on loan, with many people claiming Man City were helping Pere Guardiola's Girona mainly to get his older brother to join the citizens. Either way, this gave Girona a huge competitive advantage against their Segunda División rivals. So after narrowly missing promotion in 2015 and 2016, Girona finally achieved the goal they were so desperately looking for in 2017. In that same year, their partnership with Man City was finally made public as they became part of the City Football Group. By doing so, they became the first European team in that ecosystem of clubs, but not without raising many concerns among their own supporters and football fans in general. Many expected City to overhaul the club like the Red Bull Group had done with RB Leipzig and RB Salzburg, but ultimately, the only thing that happened was a slight cosmetic update to the club's logo. All that, and the fact that they would now benefit from having access to one of the widest and most well-structured football networks in the whole world. Girona were given access to extensive databases of Manchester City's tactics and coaching methods, which, as you can imagine, propelled the club to a completely different level. And although they would suffer an unlucky relegation in 2019, many players remained motivated to join them, as the possibility of moving up the ladder to Man City was always there, which in turn helped the group make a return to top-flight football in 2022. But this time, Girona was way more stable as more clubs had joined the City Football Group. With that improved transfer network came more players that Girona would have never heard of, let alone signed them, who joined the club and helped raising its level. Tati Castellanos, who famously scored 4 goals against Real last season, came from New York City FC, the group's representative in the MLS. Their exciting Brazilian winger Savio is currently loaned from Troyes, France's CVG member, while Jan Couto and Yangel Herrera are being loaned directly from Man City. As a whole, I think we can confidently say that Girona has definitely benefited from their affiliation with Man City, but where's the trade-off? I mean, you can't possibly be the sole beneficiary of a deal. Well, City now has an interesting pool of talent in Spain, in which they will receive preferential treatment plus an improved network in the second biggest league in the world. It's true that it all can be taken away from Girona should Man City need a few reinforcements for a small price, and let's not forget that the Catalan club has several of his talents returning to their origin clubs when the season ends. but I'm sure that if Man City continues to be the dominating force at both a sporting and financial level, Girona's future trajectory is bound to be a positive one, even if it has its ups and downs. But their recent success ultimately creates an obvious question: is Girona destined to win La Liga? Well, in my opinion, they have a good chance. After all, more unlikely triumphs have happened before. Besides, Spain has been a stage for multiple rises throughout the last couple of decades. Deportivo cemented their legacy as a top club throughout the 90s and early 2000s, and Sevilla only became a top European club from the mid-2000s onwards. Who knows, the same thing could happen to Girona. Ultimately, I can't predict if they'll ever win La Liga, but I do know one thing though: their progress will not go unnoticed. Clubs from Europe who are feeling hesitant to join a footballing network like the City Football Group will feel more inclined to do so, while the richer clubs that haven't put a great effort into building such a complex football ecosystem will now ponder a bit more about its benefits. I can definitely imagine a future where the Big Six in England all have their own football group comprised of several small clubs across every continent. If done right, those groups could further establish the English club's dominance and completely change the power dynamics in other leagues across the world. Portugal, the Netherlands, Belgium and other nations could all have a new top dog in the country, and their historical giants could very well fall behind. On the other hand, this way of conducting business among football clubs opens up a completely new conversation. If Girona and City face each other in the Champions League, can we feel confident that the feeder club won't let their ally run away with their victory? And what about when things go wrong? Can a feeder club and its fans feel safe knowing that the big club in charge won't ditch them when they need them the most? Just because this business model has worked well with Man City and their affiliate clubs, it doesn't mean it will always be like this. John Textor's Eagle Football Group has done very little to improve its clubs, with Lyon and Molenbeek hovering the relegation spots and Botafogo bottling the Brazilian Championship after several failed attempts at replacing their departing manager. Giving up control to a team or entity that has the primary goal of establishing another club other than your own should always be taken very seriously, which I'm afraid it might not happen in case Girona achieve the unlikely feat of winning La Liga or at least reaching Champions League qualification. But what about you? If you support a smaller club, would you like for it to be a part of a football group like Girona? Let me know in the comments and let's start the discussion. Drop a like as it really helps pushing the video to more people, and subscribe to Throne FC to never miss the most interesting football discussions, stories and top 10 lists. Thank you for watching until the end, I appreciate you and I will see you soon.